We are live, we are live, we are live, and thank you again for joining us for another little show looking at property on the African continent. Listen, before we go any further, definitely subscribe to the channel. If you've not already done it, hit the like. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Apologies for that one. There's a bit of an echo going on there. Anyway, little bit of struggle streaming ain't bad, man. A little bit of struggle streaming isn't bad. But listen, if you're new to this channel, right, hit the subscribe button and share it with your friends. Listen, this is the channel, and hit the like as well. This is the channel whereby rather than looking back at rather than looking behind us, right, at the modern independent feminist and all of the women in the West who consider men's natural God-given selves to be toxic, right? Rather than looking at that, rather than listening to the nonsense, to the immature women who call men in the West, was it emotionally unintelligent, rather than dealing with all of that rubbish and all of those blue pill conversations on the internet, rather than muck about with that, what I've decided to do is look forward. Now, what does that look like? For me, what that looks like in terms of podcasting is beginning to have the conversation about what life might look like in other countries for Western men, for men living in the West. What life might look like, the whole thing about beginning to reimagine ourselves living somewhere else. Now, that might be for you and your wife. In my case, it's for me and my wife going somewhere else. But you might be a single brother. You might be a single black man who's thinking, you know what? The juice in the West isn't worth the squeeze. The juice in the West, that crazy life that you're currently living, and you might be a professional guy, you might be a blue collar guy, you might be a truck driver, you might be a bus driver, right? You might be an accountant, you might be a solicitor, you might be a doctor, a GP, you might be anything. You might be a dustman, you might be a truck driver, you might be anything under the sun. But just the whole thing about, what might life be for me if I sell my house, if I sell my business or give it over to somebody else to run, if I relocate to somewhere else, what might that life look like? What might that life look like? Not having to get on the subway. We call it the tube in the UK. You brothers and sisters in the States call it the subway. Enduring that, gotta say it, I have to say it, enduring being gaslit in the office and, by your racist boss, right? And, all truth be told, all of us have experienced that. Yeah. I have to say that, having to pay for dates for modern, independent, feminist-minded females who truly simply want something to eat, having to deal with all of that nonsense. What might life look like relocating overseas, right, and setting yourself up there and adding into a community of people, including women, who actually value who God made you as a male, without looking at you and calling you toxic? What might life look like? So this channel basically deals with that. We're going to be moving forward and we're going to be dealing with that. At the moment, we've been looking at Ghana, we've been looking at Accra, and we're going to go back to that because obviously you've got other gorgeous, lovely, beautiful cities in Ghana that are definitely worthwhile looking at. And I've had guys message me, asking that specific question or asking me to look at other cities in Ghana. So we are going to go back to Ghana. But for the last stream and this stream, we've been looking at Kenya. We've been looking at Nairobi, to be exact, and different areas in Nairobi that are good for relocating to. Why Africa? I want to say this, as far as I'm concerned, there's millions of places where black men can relocate to. Excuse me. There's millions of places where black men can relocate to. And honestly, anywhere that floats your boat, Anywhere that you consider to be good for you, go for it, check it out, take a visit, go and have a look first, do your homework, do your due diligence. All of the above is important, right? I want to make this really crystal clear. Everything I give you on this channel is nothing more than information. It is not advice. I'm definitely not telling you to go and do anything I'm proposing. This is all I'm doing here, guys, is simply saying this is what is possible. This is what's possible, right? For the amount of money that you can afford a property for in the cities that I've shown so far, right? You couldn't buy a shoebox in the West. You couldn't buy a shoebox in the West. So this is what it's all about. So when I was showing properties in Accra, for that amount of money, you literally couldn't buy anything in the West, right? So this is actually accessible. Relocating to another country and buying a property or buying land in another country is definitely within the financial bracket of most working black men, blue collar or white collar. It doesn't really matter, right? It is within your grasp, and that is what this is all about. We don't have to put up, right, with disrespect in the West coming from everywhere. We don't have to put up with that. You don't. You've got to want to relocate. If you want to stay in your country, great, fine. It's your choice. Do you? I'm with you, you know. But if you want to relocate, that's what this channel is all about. If you want to relocate, that is partly what this channel is all about. Will I be talking about the foolish behavior from modern independent feminists in the West now and again? Yeah, because it's fun, basically. But really, what I'm really concerned about is what's possible for black men while we live. What's possible? Are we simply destined as black men to be the workhorses, right? The heavy lifters, right? The beasts of burden. Are we merely destined to be that? Is that it? Is that literally it for us? The beasts of burden. Is that it? Is that it? Nah. As far as I'm concerned, nope. No, we're worth more than that. We are worth more, guys, than that, right? So hopefully, I want that message to come through here, that black men in the West are worth more than what we've been told growing up. Yeah, we're worth more than what we've been told growing up. We're worth more than that. We're worth more than that. Yeah, we're worth more than that, right? But we have to believe it. We have to believe, literally, we have to believe in our own self-worth, right? And sometimes what you've got to be prepared to do is literally shake off the dust off your sandals, right? Right. If you wear sandals, it's a analogy, dust yourself down, right? Pack your bags, right? Rent out that apartment that you've currently got in whatever country you're in, rent out that house, take a sabbatical, a leave of absence, whatever you need to do, or leave your job, whatever you need to do, and focus on building a life elsewhere. It might be that you work remotely. It might be that you set up a business where you're going. It might be that you buy a piece of land and build something. It might be that you sell your 3-bedroomed house where you are and buy a load of apartments elsewhere and just rent them out, put them on Airbnb and spread bet. What I mean by spread bet is that you basically have a range of investments. It doesn't even have to be in another country. It can be in the country where you're leaving. Like, it could be in that country. But the point is, you set yourself up, right? You set yourself up, and then you leave. You may not leave immediately. A wise thing would be to do, a few visits over the course of about 2 years. You just do a few visits, and you learn about the place where you want to go. You may have to visit a range of places, but the point is you learn about the place. You decide by traveling, and you decide where you want to be, where you want to set up shop. That's what it's all about. All right. And honestly, there's a load of channels that are a lot more experienced at doing that than I am. All I'm saying is the message is you don't have to suffer substandard behavior directed at you and disrespect directed at you in your little corner of the West. You don't have to suffer it coming from women who should know better in your group, in our group, as black men living in the West. It could be ADOS women, it could be Caribbean women, yeah? It could be women in the UK, black and British women. It could be it could be in France, it could be in Germany. The women in your group, in your part of the West, you don't have to suffer it. You don't have to suffer disrespect coming from your boss, coming from work, when you're a qualified person, when you've been to uni, when you've got that professional qualification, and yet you've got to put up. Do you seriously want to be putting up with disrespect for the next 30, 40 years of your working career? That's stressful. That is stressful. It's stressful. That is completely and utterly stressful. And then the same group of women in your group expect you to turn around and defend them verbally or physically, right? To put your life on the line when something happens to them. When something happens to them, when they've shown you complete and utter disrespect, right, for the last 15, 20 years, right? And they expect you to turn around and basically, case in point, what happened to Diane Abbott. Those of you that are in the States, those of you that are, I don't know, on the African continent, those of you that are in Kenya or Ghana or wherever it is you're going to be watching this, or somewhere in the UK, right? And I'm not necessarily having a dig at Diane Abbott, because the truth is, she used to run these events called, God, what is it? London's, I think they were titled London Schools and the Black Child. So these were conferences about how we can better teach African Caribbean children in London schools. And the events were very, very good and all the rest of it. But the problem was they were government funded. Right? And obviously the government, when the fashion changed, the government basically took money away from the event, and the event came to an end. It was a yearly event for a few years, but they were instigated, as far as I understand it, by Diane Abbott. But so this isn't not necessarily about Diane Abbott, but the truth is, years ago, because what happened is that some Tory politician basically just said some racist remarks against Diane Abbott years ago. The black community, when we had one, right, would go out and march and protest and all kinds of stuff. Black men would be at the forefront, and then this, that, and the other. And that is the response of a community. But roll on, I don't know, 15, 20, 25 years, can we honestly say that we've got a black community or anything approaching that in the UK in 2024? The answer is no. So there's nothing worth fighting for. Why do we not have a community? We've got a community of single parent families, baby mamas that pretend or pass or that some people like to still try to call a community. That's not a community. A community, or at least the one that I grew up in, was about black families. Black families. Yeah, fathers, mothers, children, extended families, grandparents, and all the rest of it. We were poor, but we were a lot tighter than what we are now, and we had something worth defending and fighting for. But we don't have that now, which is why a Tory politician can come forward, say some nonsense about black women, and the truth is, there's going to be very few black men that are going to say, is this worth me saying anything about? Is this worth fighting for? Nah, it's not. And that's sad. That is sad. That doesn't mean that black men don't want community, but what we want is a community, not a community. A community is made up of single parent family or baby mamas and kids, and there's no men to be seen, no husbands anyway. That's a community as opposed to a community. So what I say is, guys, fellas, your community is global. You can go anywhere on planet Earth, right? And find a community, right? You can travel and find somewhere. You don't have to remain and reminisce about what you've lost, that community that doesn't no longer exist in your part of the West. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. So where we're going with this channel is actually beginning to suggest how you can set up yourself in another place where people still remember, right, what community is, and they still live by it. They still do it, right? That is what the channel is all about, okay? That's what the channel is all about. Where you can go to be with people, men, women, extended family, that still remember the meaning of the word community, and they live by it. It's not about finding El Dorado, somewhere, that's completely perfect. There is nowhere that's perfect. There is nowhere on planet Earth that's actually perfect. It doesn't exist. But surely there has to be somewhere better than this, right? Surely there has to be somewhere better than this. And it's worth traveling to try to find it, rather than live a purposeless life in a shoebox, having to experience a rat race with a load of other rats around you that completely disrespect and hate you. Sorry to say, right? But that's what this channel's all about, right? That is basically what this channel's all about. To have to endure a rat race, right, with a bunch of people that basically look at you, and looking at you, they view you as being nothing more than toxic. Toxic. I've got an 18-year-old son. At what point are they going to see my 18-year-old son as being toxic and emotionally unintelligent just because he's a man? And worse, just because he's a young black man. Ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. Really is. But leave them to it. You don't have to be here. It's as simple as that. The world is big enough for everybody to exist in, right? Everybody to exist in. So the idea is, no, we're not looking behind us. The idea is to look forward and press forward. Press forward. That's the idea. To look forward and press forward and talk about life elsewhere. So as far as I'm concerned, as someone who loves property, loves looking at property, is into property, loves looking at property. I've already looked at Ghana, as I said, or not the whole of Ghana. I've looked at Accra specifically. We will be looking at Kumasi, but for the last stream and for a few streams going forward, we will be looking at Kenya, right? Particularly two cities. Excuse me. Don't know why I've got a bit of a frog in the throat, but I'm going to be looking at Nairobi. Been looking at Nairobi in the last stream. Also going to be looking at Mombasa. Lovely Mombasa. Apparently, I've been learning about it. It's a tourist area spot. So we're going to be looking at Mombasa. So basically, regarding Nairobi, which is what this stream is going to be all about, I've been looking at in the last stream, looked at some gorgeous apartments. Do go back and have a look at it. Some lovely, 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 and totally affordable apartments in the last stream, right? And now the idea is that you obviously you've got to do your own due diligence. This is all about doing your own due diligence, and specifically, right, working out ways that you can finance the purchase. It might be about selling what you've got in whatever country you're in, or it may be about remortgaging. It may be about doing it on cards, credit cards. People used to do that back in the day, right? A lot of Nigerians used to do that back in the day. So people, a lot of guys used to do that back in the day. Actually, a lot of people used to do it about 20, 25 years ago. Literally buy apartments, whether it be in London or up north of England, on credit cards. And then flip the credit cards, the price of the property goes up, you pay off the cards, and that's it. Right? That's literally how people did build property portfolios, right? As long as you're competent, right, and not ridiculously foolish, right, that was doable. So what I want to do first of all, right, is show you the area that we've been concentrating on, right? So I just want to show you the area that we've been concentrating on, right? So first of all, let's do that. So let me bring it in. Let's bring it in. Oh, actually, you can already see it, right? So hopefully you can see it. So this is Nairobi. This is the center of Nairobi, right? So, and again, guys, do forgive my pronunciations of words, right? So this is Kilimani. This is the area we're going to be looking at. So this is Kilimani, right? And then you've got Kililishwe, if I've pronounced that right. Listen, if you're Kenyan, right, and you're do critique my pronunciation. Let me put this back in. Do critique. Feel free to critique in the comments my pronunciation. Because listen, I come from Battersea South, South London, and I am still learning, as Neely Fuller used to say. I am still learning. So Kililishwe, we're going to be looking at that area. In this stream, Kilimani, going to be looking at that area, and Westlands. So these three areas, I've had it on good authority. I'm talking to my brothers in the West, whether it be in the States or the UK or some other European country. I've had it on good authority from Kenyans that Westlands, Kilimani and Kililishwe are lovely areas, and the surrounding areas as well are gorgeous areas. So those are the areas that I want to concentrate on. Because guys, if you're going to make the move to Nairobi, Kenya, or Mombasa, I want you to basically move to the nicest places, right? Obviously, when you're not there, what you want to do is put it out on Airbnb. Again, in the last stream, I looked at Airbnb and what you might expect if you did put your studio 1 or 2 bed on the market on Airbnb. Obviously, when you're not there, the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to make your property make money for you. It's called a passive investment, all right? And I want to be clear as well, the whole of Africa, regardless of what the Western media likes to, how the Western media likes to portray Africa, the truth is, the whole of Africa pretty much is on the rise, on the up. Property is going up in value, as are some other places on planet Earth as well. But definitely Kenya, Uganda, obviously Accra, Ghana, these places are on the rise. It's as simple as that. They are on the rise. So they are actually good investments. Good investments, but you've got to do your due diligence. If you're one of these people that doesn't do detail when they buy things, then this is not for you. You, right, if you're going to spend over $1, right, if you're going to spend over £1, you should do your due diligence to make sure whatever you're going to buy is going to be fit for purpose, and you're not going to get ripped off, right? So that means a lawyer, a property lawyer, a solicitor. That's what we call them in the UK. In the UK, we call them property conveyancers. You got to make sure that in your corner, you've got the best people to do the job and to do all of the legal checks to make sure that you are spending your money wisely, all of that sort of stuff. That's you. That's for you to do. That's for nobody else to do. All right. So I've got to keep saying that, because obviously you've got people that don't quite understand that. So throughout all of these streams, that's what I'm going to be drumming into you. All right. So anyway, we're going to be looking at 3 properties in these areas. That's Kilimani, Kililishwe, and Westlands. Lovely Westlands. All right. So these areas are gorgeous. We're going to come back to this. In fact, let's look at that now. So let's look at Westlands really quick, right? Let's look at some of these images. So hopefully you can see that, and just check. Good. So you can see it, right? So very quickly, this is Westlands, right? So it's developed. There's loads going on there. It's a nice area. And, the truth is, it is a building site. So you can see this motorway. In the UK, we would call it a flyover. There is building work going on all over Nairobi, right? And it's fast developing. Honestly, what you see here, give it 5 years, just like the London skyline, it would be completely different, right? So really, like all markets that are at the beginning of a boom, best if you get in there early and invest, whether you're investing in property or anything else. Early investment is key. And, trust me, right? I smell it with Nairobi. To be honest, I smell it with a lot of African countries, right? Early investment. And the truth is, if you are of African heritage, right, you want to get in there now. That's what you want to do. You want to get in there now. Ideally, you want to learn the language, right? And you want to get in there. Get in there. That's what you want to do. You want to learn the language. You want to travel. I'm speaking to the fellas, right? You want to get in there. You want to learn the language because trust me, you've got a lot of non-African heritage people, Chinese, Europeans that are already there, right? So that is what you want to do. And the last thing, if you're planning to move to, it could be Nairobi, it could be Kenya, it could be Ghana, it could be Tanzania, Zambia. If you're planning on moving or thinking of moving, also, here's the last thing. Listen very carefully, fellas. Think about what kind of value you can add by you being there. What are you bringing of value, right, to the people that are there, to the community? Why, how are you going to add value, right? Or are you planning on being a burden? Right? And what kind of value are you looking to add? For me, that's really important, right? What are you bringing? Because anyway, yeah. So think about what you can bring and add to the country. Yeah. Think about how you're going to contribute to what's got, because obviously, if you're thinking of relocating to another country, effectively, what you're really saying is, I am thinking of really becoming a citizen potentially of that country. Not only that, if I have any children, they will be citizens definitely of that country, right? They won't remember the place where you potentially were born. For them, their reality is only going to be wherever you have set up your new life. That's important, right? So do have a real solid think about that as well. So I'm showing you these pictures for you to get an idea, right, of Westlands or that bit of Nairobi. Westlands, Kililishwa, yeah, Kilimani, this kind of area. So you can see, that's a nice picture, right? So you can see really where you are going to be going, right? Now, I've never been to Kenya. I've only done online research. I don't mind saying that. I've done a lot of online research. Now, you'd be surprised what you can research and find out on the web, right? You can do a lot. You can do a lot. And I suggest you do it. I suggest you do your online research and then organize it. When you make a trip, do what I do, right? Ring up estate agents in that country and organize literally back-to-back viewings of property, right? Really, once per every half hour or every 45 minutes, you should be viewing a property when you make your trip. Your time when you visit another country for property purchase or land purchase, it should be one property, one bit of land every 45 minutes. That is what it should be. So that when you leave, right, and you should log it by filming it. All right, log it by filming it. Okay, that is what you should be doing. So anyway, that is the area where we're going to be going. Just to be clear, that is the area. All right, Westlands, that's the center of Nairobi, Kililishwa, Kilimani, so on and so forth. All right. Okay, so let's drop that down. Didn't mean to do that, but anyway, I've got rid of the whole thing, but it doesn't matter, right? So what we're going to do now is bring in, right, the first property. Now, I tell you, I've got some beautiful properties to show you, right? So let me bring the first one in, right? This is amazing, right? I'm going to say, I don't care. This first property is amazing. Everything about it is amazing. You will see what I mean, right? This is a beautiful property, right? So let's make sure you can actually see it. Let's bring it in. All right, 1 minute. Don't know what's going on with me. I've got a bit of a frog in the throat. Okay, so this property, right, I can't believe this one. Now, this hasn't been built yet, so this is all artist impressions, all right? But do study this one with me. So just understand, like all off-plan properties, this is an off-plan block, right? It's an artist impression. So ignore the furniture, right? But just look at the fixtures and fittings. That is what I want you to focus on, right? So, right, I'll just go through it. Hopefully you can actually see that, and it's actually at a decent size. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you can actually see it. I don't really want to make myself any smaller, so I'm going to keep myself that size, and I'll try. Is it going to work for me? Yeah, yes. Cool. So can you actually see that? Have I got the wrong one in there? Just do this properly. 1 minute, because I really want you to get this. Right, so let's try that one again. Yeah, there we go. Let's share that. So you should be seeing that yeah, cool. So you can see this nice and big. Now listen, right, and pay attention. This is a 1-bed apartment, right? Let's look at, actually, maybe I should show, no, let's just go for no, I've got to do it properly. So let's do this first, right? Let's look at what the property is. So this is a 1-bed property in an off-plan block. Right now, this is going for 9,120,000 Kenyan shillings. So how much is that, I hear you say? Listen carefully, right? All right, so 9,100 Kenyan shillings is 51,500 pounds, right? That's 51,500 pounds. 51,500 pounds, man. How much is that in dollars? Some of you might be able to do that, right? That is $66,000, right? $66,000. So bear that one in mind, right? As we go through the property, bear that all in mind as we go through the property, right? So, right, okay, so this is a 1-bed apartment. And by the way, they've also got 2-bed apartments, but we'll come to that later, right? So this is a 1-bed apartment, right? Flat for sale in lovely, lovely, posh Westlands, right? Mostly modern, spacious 1- and 2-bed apartments for sale in the Westlands. Very prime, right? And it really is. 1- and 2-bed apartments available for sale. Right, the 1-bed apartment, for those of you that understand square meters, and to be honest, I never focus on square meters, and I should, right? But for those of you that focus, I know a lot of Americans are really, really focused on square meters, so I'm going to get more into that. I'm more focused on how much rental I'm going to get. I suppose that's based on square meters to a great degree. But anyway, 57 square meters, all right? 57 to 58 square meters for the 1-beds. For the 2-beds, 93 to 95 square meters. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. With a flexible payment plan. This is really, really good. But then all off-plan properties come with a flexible payment plan. In other words, you pay X amount for each stage at each stage of the build. That is what a flexible payment plan basically means. So with a flexible payment plan of up to 21 over 2, don't know what that means, with a deposit of 30% balance spread towards completion, which is completely normal. The units come fitted with 4 banners. I have no idea what banners means. Extractor and oven. We have off-plan big discount offers depending on the 1 AD deposit, depending on the first deposit and payment plan. Again, that's quite standard. Basically, the more money you pay up front is the bigger discount you're going to get. If you could, well, yeah, simple as that. Amenities include, listen to this, fellas, right? Now listen. Now remember the price, right? 55,500 pounds, 66,000 US dollars. This is what you get, right? And I want you to listen, right? You can read it anyway before I've even said it, right? But do pay attention. Right? So this is what you get. Rooftop heated swimming pool, equipped gym with modern fitted, modern fitted, just poor English, 2 high-speed lifts per block, kids play area, barbecue and lunch area on the rooftop, smart home finishing with face scans, no idea what that means, high quality and modern finishing, handball parking slots with a separate visitors parking, right? So that spec is brilliant, right? For the money, that's brilliant, right? Pet friendly gardens, garages, 1 bathroom. You only need that. Some properties you'd probably see me look at have got an ensuite for each bedroom. I think that's overkill. And to be honest, that's probably why it is the price that it is. But do you need more than 1 bathroom in a 1 or 2 bedroom flat apartment? I doubt it. I don't think so. Now, this place, right, came on the market literally this month, right? So this is a proper off-plan buy, all right? Pets allowed. Let's look at what this says here. Right, 1 bathroom. Let's see what external features. Right, so yeah, we've already spoken about that. Right. If you want to contact the agent, it's via email. Right. So okay, let's look at the pictures. Right. Let's look at these. Now, do pay attention to these amazing pictures. Let me check you can actually see it again. Come on. What's going on here? Let me check that you can actually see it. Just make sure. It's funny when your computer goes a bit haywire sometimes, isn't it? Whoops. What's going on? Right, apologies for that. Right, I'm back again. Right, okay, so let me just check that you can actually see it, and you can. Now, do pay attention to these gorgeous pictures, right? Pay attention to these amazing pictures, right? So that is the, well, I'm assuming that's either the pool, that's the pool, right? You can see here, you can see that there's chairs there, recliners, right? Let's move on. And the pictures for once are decent. Now, remember, this is off plan. So these are all artist impressions. So you can see it's an enclosed area, right? Which means there's going to be a concierge down here, right? There's a pool there. But remember, it also said rooftop pools. So up here, you've got clubhouse. Remember what it said? Remember the description? So you've got pools literally up there. That's if you want to swim in a swimming pool about 1 million floors up, right? But you can see where they've gone with this, right? So that's amazing, right? That's another artist impression. And so far, I've got to say, right, all of the off plans that I've seen, because we've seen, me and the wife, we've actually seen quite a few off plans. We actually went to see some place in Accra called Embassy Gardens as they were still building it. And then we stayed at Embassy Gardens as well in Accra. And got to say, it was lovely. It was lovely. That particular studio flat that we stayed in Embassy Gardens, the lady who owned it lives in the UK, gave it to a management company in Accra to look after, and all she did was collect the money. As simple as that. That studio in Accra was tiny, cost her about £60,000, and she's got it on Airbnb, and pretty much she's got it rented out every day of the month. Right. So yeah, but anyway, right, back to this one. So that's it, right? So you can see that artist impression, gorgeous, completely lovely. Just a beautiful place to be. Now, remember, when you're not here, the idea is that this is rented out. You've got it on Airbnb, so it's turning a profit. You've got it on Airbnb, and it's turning a profit. Let me just make a slight adjustment here. Let me just make sure. Right, 1 minute. Bear with me. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Let me go over there. Yeah, so the idea is, I'll talk as I'm making a slight adjustment here. Yeah, so the idea really is that you've got it rented out and turning a profit when you are not there. That's the idea, right? So the reason why I'm looking at properties with swimming pools and with gyms and all of that is to make it attractive to people who want to be on holiday, or people that are doing business, and they're in Nairobi. It's literally to make it attractive. So the more you've got on site is the more attractive the thing is actually going to be to people on Airbnb, to people that are actually looking through Airbnb, right? That is the idea, right? Is to make it completely attractive, all right? That's what it's all about, right? Let me try to make this other little adjustment. Bear with me. Let me try to make this other little adjustment. Whoops. Let's do that. And let's come down here and see if it's going to, oh, it's not going to let me do that. So apologies. There may be a little bit of latency on the stream, but don't worry about that. Just keep listening. All right. Okay. So. Let's come back over here. Cool. So yeah, carry on looking at these lovely pictures. All right. So remember, this is the apartment. This is an artist impression, right? Now, the idea, guys, just keep the figure in your head. £55,500, 66,000 USD, and you get this. This is what you get, right? I have no idea. I mean, it's like all property markets, right? At the beginning of a boom, property is low and it goes up, but this is only going to go in one direction, right? A property, if you buy something like this, it's going to go up. Look at the lovely molded ceilings. In the UK, we call these molded ceilings with recessed lights, right? Look at the fixtures and fittings, and remember, £55,500, 66,000 USD. This is what you're getting. This is the finish that you're getting. Yes, it is an artist impression, but it's a gorgeous one, and they will meet it. I don't know why they think putting a washing machine as a standalone item is a good thing, right? You know, I've noticed this in a lot of non-UK countries, because in the UK, we would basically put something like that under, we would hide it. Yeah, we'd literally hide it in the kitchen or something like that, or in a washroom. But, you know, different countries do things slightly differently. My computer is deciding to be very slow. So yeah, we're going through these pictures because I really want you to get a sense of what you're getting for the money, for that, you know, for that amount of money. £55,500, 66,000 USD. This is what you get in the heart of Nairobi, in a lovely area. So if you're looking to relocate, I mean, look at that balcony. So if you're looking to relocate, I mean, I'll be honest, right? When I saw this property, I just thought, should I even put it on my stream, or should I try to get it myself? You know, should I put it on the stream, or should I stream it? Should I talk about it, or should I talk about it after I've got one? That is what I was actually thinking about when I saw this. All truth be told, that is what I was actually thinking about. This is a serious property. That is what this is. There's no bath in this apartment. It's just a shower, but that's cool. That is absolutely fine. That's perfect for sticking it on Airbnb, or if you're going to be there yourself, right? So these apartments are not small. This is a big apartment as well. Considering that, you've got to try and imagine that that's a 3-seater sofa. That is a dining table. Then you've got an L-shaped kitchen, and you've got a what do you call it? You've got a hallway going that way, and then you've got a TV. Brilliant, utterly brilliant. Right, let's carry on. And I love the pictures here. Obviously, why is it? Oh yes, so I should also say that these artist impressions, they're covering the 2 and the 3 bed, which is why more than likely you've got a washing machine there, and then you've got a washing machine in the other place, in the bathroom. You saw a washing machine in an earlier picture as well. All right. So, I mean, this deserves a constant. That's what it deserves, man. Honestly. Right. This is a lovely, you get a balcony as well. I'm assuming you get a balcony. Now, just remember, these are artist impressions, so it doesn't really, we'll go back and have a look at the description, but I couldn't see whether or not the 1 bed came with a balcony. I'm going to make an assumption it does. I'm going to make an assumption that you get a balcony with the 1 bed, with all of these apartments, right? So this is beautiful. And look at, well, yeah, this is gorgeous. Gorgeous place. For the money, right? I'll be honest, for the money, I've not seen a better place, not even in Accra, not for the money, not for that amount of money, no. Right? That is amazing. That place is amazing. What I want to do is go back to the spec just to see what else it says. Obviously, there's going to be a service charge with this as well, right? With all of these things, there's going to be a service charge. I didn't mean to drop that down, so let's bring it back up. What I want to do is have a look, if I can. How am I going to do that? How do I do this here? What I want to do is, here it is. So what I want to do is have a look at, and another little thing about some of these websites, they don't tell you what the service charge is going to be or what the potential service charge is going to be. But the bottom line is it'd be round about, it'd be something like, in Ghana at Embassy Gardens, it was something like 150 Ghana CDs, which is next to nothing. 150 Ghana CDs, I think. God, how much? It was literally next to nothing, and it's going to be next to nothing here as well. Considering that in the UK, if you've got a similar property, your service charge is going to be, I don't know, around about £150 a month, £125 a month, literally. That's going to be your service charge if you've got an apartment in a building, right? But this is going to be nowhere near that at all. Nowhere near it, guys. Nowhere near it. So if you're looking to relocate, or even if you're looking to invest, even if you've got £60,000, you've got 70,000 USD, and you want to make money, right? It'd be difficult to do better than this. It'd be difficult. There's nowhere in America are you going to get this quality apartment for this amount of money. It's simply not possible. How do I know that? Because I've got a brother living in, I've got two brothers living in the States, one in Miami, one in Maryland. I was in Florida, Tampa Bay, and Orlando looking at property. I mean, it was a while ago. It was about 8 years ago, right? But the bottom line is, even then, there was no apartment going for 66,000 USD in Florida, or at least the bits of Florida that I looked at. So what the hell is that going to be now? Right? It's not going to happen. You're not going to find this quality property in Florida, maybe in some place in the States where nobody wants to live. Definitely not going to find this quality of apartment anywhere in the UK. I mean, you'll get cheap apartments in the UK for less than 66,000 USD. But trust me, they are going to be in places where you don't want to be. This is a good investment, and you don't have to do any work. There's no maintenance to do on this. As soon as you get the keys, you can chuck it on Airbnb, furnish it, and then you are away. You're away, right? So as far as I'm concerned, guys, that one wins. That is what I call a winner. That is a complete winner. That is a complete winner, man. That is a complete and utter winner. Now, you're probably experiencing a bit of latency on this stream. I couldn't change it, so do forgive me on that one. Right, so what I'm going to do now, right, is quickly show you guys the 2-bed, all right? Because there is a 2-bed here as well, if I can locate it, right? There is a 2-bed here. Here it is. Is it even worth showing? Yeah, okay, let's show it. Right, okay, so, and let's bring it in. Right, so, have I got the right one? Just make sure. Yes. Okay, so the 2-bed is going, can you see that? You should be able to see the price. Yeah, you can. So the 2-bed is going for 15,200,000. So I will quickly tell you how much 15,200,000 is. And that's 15,200,000 Ghana, 15,200,000 Kenyan shillings. 15,200,000 Kenyan shillings is 110. I'm going to round it up. 110,000 USD. 110,000 USD, which is in pounds, that is 86,000 pounds. 86,000 pounds, right? 110,000 USD for 2 beds, which is still brilliantly cheap, right? You saw the quality of the property. Yeah, you saw the quality of the property. The pictures are the same, pretty much, but the quality of the property is really what you want to focus on. Do you want 2 beds? Do you need 2 beds to stick on Airbnb? You can do it if you want. Personally, I would go for the 1 bed at a low price, stick it on Airbnb, and yeah. But if you want to do the 2 bed for that amount of money, it's not a bad investment. I would just go for the 1 bed or studio. But this building doesn't do studios. It's got 1 beds. All right. But for that money, for that amount of money, it's seriously difficult to go wrong. Do your due diligence, as I've labored to say. That is really, 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 really important, right? Your due diligence in all of this is utterly, utterly, utterly key, right? What we're going to do, I'm going to remove that, I'm going to drop that down, and wasn't that brilliant? All right, wasn't that amazing? That property was bloody brilliant, bloody brilliant. That's what that was. Go back and check the stream and look at that property. I've done you a lot of favor. I've done you a favor, right? I've done you a favor. Listen, I could have kept that one to myself, right? But no, go and have a look at that and look at that properly. If you're thinking about relocating to Nairobi, it'll be seriously difficult to do better than that, fellas, right? Go and have a look at that property. That was a gorgeous property, man. I've got to say, that is the best apartment that I've seen for the money since I've been looking at property on the African continent, right? That is the best property that I've seen personally, right? I will go back and talk to some friends that I know that watch my channel, and I'll ask them, have you seen a better property than that? I don't think so. I don't think so. Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, without further ado, is bring up the next property, right? I am going to, and remember why we're doing this, guys. I'm going to keep saying it. The reason why we're doing this is to say to you guys, we don't have to remain here. We can find life outside of the West with people that actually want us to be there, right? Want us to be around, right? We can have that life. That life is open to us if we want it, if we want to take it, right? There is life and life more abundantly elsewhere outside of the West, to use that Bible scripture. There is life and life more abundantly elsewhere. It doesn't have to be this way, right? It doesn't have to be this way. Yeah, it doesn't have to be this way. Anyway, right? I've got here our second one. Let me go back to the beginning of these pictures. Right. Okay. So this, so this particular property, right, is cheap compared to the last one. The last one was cheap, but this one's cheaper and still lovely, in my opinion. Now, this is going for 7,300,000 Kenyan shillings. I will tell you how much it is in pounds and USD. Give us a minute. Right, so that's 7,300,000. What did I say? 7,300,000. Is that what I said? Let me check. Yeah. Okay. So how much is that? That is 41,000. I'm just going to round it. 41,000 pounds. 41,000 British pounds in USD. That is 53,000 USD. So what you're gonna see next is 41,000 pounds, 51,000 USD. So what do you get for that? Right. So the property is in Kililishwa. Now remember, that's in a decent part of Nairobi. It's a 1-bed flat or 1-bed apartment. It's got 1 bathroom. You get 1 parking space. So that is what you get. That's what you get for this amount of money. All right. So let's look at the pictures first, I suppose. Let's have a quick look at the pictures. Let's expand that. So hopefully you can see that really quite big. Let me check. Yeah, you can. Okay, so look at the pictures. Now remember the price, £41,000. I think I said 52,000 USD, right? So just check the pictures. So as far as I'm concerned, for that money, the finish is good, right? The finish is good. Nothing wrong with the finish at all. Kitchen's actually quite nice. This is not an artist impression as far as I can see. I think, this place has already been built, but don't quote me on that. We'll read the description because, to be honest, sometimes I can't tell. And I'll be honest, my eyesight's rubbish. Right? So this is a nice apartment, and this is big. You got to consider how big that corner sofa is to get an idea. Corner sofa, dining table, TV there. Lovely windows, sliding doors. I don't know if that's a balcony outside or what. Yeah, here we go. Computer's decided to unfreeze. The kitchen area is huge. That's a double door fridge. As to why you'd need a double door fridge in a one-bed apartment, I have no idea. But the bottom line is you get more for your money on the African continent. The room sizes are huge. Everything is big, right? So so this isn't an artist impression. This is something that's already been built, right? It looks like to me. So this is a huge place, right? So this looks like a restaurant stroke concierge downstairs. Thank God they've given us loads of pictures. Yeah, so that's the sort of concierge area downstairs. Looks like or a restaurant actually. So there's some sort of restaurant in this building as well, right? I mean, basically, it's extravagant. I mean, look at this. This is all marble or tiled going up. Now, for that amount of money, where the hell in the UK are you going to get? Or in Europe, or in the States, are you going to get something like this for that amount of money? It is totally impossible. And remember, the idea, when you're not here, when you're not living there, the idea would be to stick it on Airbnb. So basically, it's an investment. This is a good investment, guys. Yeah, that's the point. This is a good investment in the heart of Nairobi, in a lovely area. This is a good investment. You can see the size of that bed, right? As to why you'd need a bed that big, right? I have no idea, right? But you get a lot for the money. The point here is that's a big old square bed, isn't it? The point is, this one, I don't think they come furnished, by the way. So you can, I'm sure you could buy it furnished if you want. You could probably buy the furniture. But, and you get a balcony as well. So that's nice. So what you get for the money. So we're looking at that. It's the fixtures and fittings are decent, right? Decent, good, I mean, right? Big old living room. So and I love these ceilings. Why can't we have ceilings like this in the UK? I have no idea. The ceilings in houses in the UK are boring, but you get a balcony, what looks like a tiled balcony as well. I'm going to make an assumption that all of these metal fixtures and fittings are actually treated. And this one looks like it's just finishing construction as well. So this is a nice building. I have no idea. I did see this pink finishing, right, which made me laugh. Guys, you'd have to I don't think any guy's going to want that, right? So unless you like bright, light, washed out pink, you're going to want someone to come in and repaint this, right? Unless you like pink, man, each of their own. I have no idea, right? But this is that pink is just plain weird, right? But this is a great apartment for the money. For the money, how are you going to get better than this? Not possible. Again, it is not possible. For £41,000, 52,000 USD, it is impossible to get a better, what was it? 1-bed apartment, 2-bed apartment for this amount of money in the nicest part of Nairobi. Totally impossible. So what I'm going to do, let us look at the specification of this building. So remember the price: 41,000 USD, 52,000. Sorry, 52,000 USD, 41,000 pounds. Located in the suburbs of Kililishwa, a serene neighborhood close to the Quick Mart supermarket. Right? Get lavish 1, 2, 3, 4 bedroom apartments available for sale at Kililishwa. 1 bedroom. Here are the sizes, right? So 60 square meters for the 1 bed, or rather between 60 square meters and 78 square meters for the 2 bed. 100. Hopefully you can see that. Just check you can actually see it. Yep, you can see it. Right. So for the 2 bed, right. So you've got to imagine what your lives would be like living here, guys, as we're doing this. Right. For the 2 bed, it's 125 square meters, between 125 square meters, 144 square meters. For the 2 bed, you get 2 bedrooms, a study, DSQ. No idea what that means. Apologies for that. I will find out. 163 square meters. There's also a 3 bed for 225 square meters. Of 225 square meters. Don't know what Pro Max means. Right? Probably means something. Right? And then there's a 4 bed as well. Right? There's a 4 bed. If you want to go that high, as well as that. Okay, so in terms of the amenities, you've got 1 minute. So basically, the way anyway, in the building, you've got a sauna, a gym, a kids' play area, modern lifts, 3-floor parking spaces. All right, so there's a huge parking in this building, swimming pool, good views, green area for kids, and again, well, you know what? It's probably not. This is probably off plan, which doesn't make sense because they've built it already. Well, I'm assuming they built it already, but anyway, it just says a payment plan. Deposit 20%, pay 30% after 1 year, balance 50% on completion. So basically, before the building's built, you pay 50% and 50% when the place is done. All right. So, what else is there about this building? All right. Okay. So it is off plan. Forgive me for that. So that must be a show apartment, maybe. So this place was listed 13th of March 2024 as well. You can have pets in this place. So if you want a dog or a cat, right, you can do that if that's your thing. So this is a good one as well. For the money, how are you going to get better than something like this for the money? I think it's difficult to get something as good as this for the money. That's my opinion, right? Remember, £41,000, 52,000 USD. That is what you're paying. That's all you're paying, right? And what do you get? You get a restaurant, you get a concierge, right? Full security. What is this? What's this we're looking at here? I have no idea. I think it said somewhere that there's a conference space here as well, although don't quote me on that. I think it's quite a big development, but this is a nice place. Again, this is a communal space. So for the money, again, you're getting a hell of a lot. In a building like this, you'd have cleaners regularly cleaning. So again, in terms of renting this out on Airbnb, it would be very difficult to get somewhere better than this. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do very quickly. What I want to do is bring up Airbnb really, really quick, just to quickly give you an idea as to what this would rent for. Now, the rents in Accra are higher than what they're going to be in Nairobi. It's not going to remain like that, right? This is why it's good to get in at ground zero with all of these things, right? When you're making property investments, the idea is to go somewhere that you know, before it starts to rise, or as it's just beginning to rise, which is where Nairobi is now. That's the point. So hopefully you can see what I'm seeing. Yes, you can. These are the basic prices, right? We've just been looking, or we've looked at 2 properties in Nairobi, right? So we've looked at last week we looked at Kilimani. We've looked at today one in this area, that's Westlands. You can see that. And we've looked at this area, Kileleshwa, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So you can see the kind of rents, all right? 72, and these are I'll put this in for 2 weeks between the 1st to the 15th of August for two people. These are all, or should be all, 1-bedroom apartments that I set up, right? 1-bedroom apartments. So this is a sort of mix of prices, right? Just to give you a sort of ballpark. And these are all the same sort of spec: pool, gym, kids play area, concierge, all that kind of thing. So we're talking 76, 95, 54. And these are all of sort of different qualities: 90, 60, 3, 86, 55, 63. You can see Westlands there. Yeah. This is what you do when you're looking for an investment property elsewhere that you want to be in. And remember, if you're looking to relocate, flat in Nairobi, if you're looking to relocate anywhere and you want it to turn a profit when you're not there, this is really what you should be doing. You should be checking on Airbnb just to see how much different types of properties rent for, yeah, in terms of short-term stays. And remember, with Airbnb, it's all short-term stay. Obviously, if you want longer-term tenants, you're not going to be getting this amount of money, right? But, you may want longer-term tenants. That's up to you. Let's just click on one of these just to have a quick look. Yeah. Let's go for... Actually, I won't bother. What I'm going to do, anyway, I think you get the idea. That's the ballpark. So do your due diligence around that as well. All right. Do your due diligence around that. Right. I am going to bring up one more that I think is worth looking at. All right. So let me stop that. And let me find it and bring up. Right. This is going to be a slightly different one. Have we got another one there, actually? Let me have a quick check. Have we looked at this one? Yeah, no, we've looked at that one. Let me check this one. We've just looked at that. Right, the next one, the last one we're going to look at is slightly different. Right, the last one we're going to look at is slightly a different kettle of fish. Okay, all right, let's bring this one up. Right, okay, and let's have a look here. Right, okay, so this one looks like it's still under construction. Now, the pictures, they haven't got any artist impressions here, but it's worthwhile looking at this because obviously if you buy off plan, they're still building it. We've just looked at 1 or 2 off-plan properties in this stream, right, that were excellent. Also, actually, one thing that you should do, if you're buying off plan, look at the track record of the company. What else have they built? And go and have a look at that as well. All right. So what else have they built that's up and done and dusted? And go and have a look at that. Have an eyeball look. Don't just check the internet. Go and have a look at it physically. All right. Do that. Really, really important. Anyway, this particular property is called the Marquis. I don't know if that's the actual area or the building, actually. Let me have a quick check. I think that's the name of the building. Don't quote me on that. Let's have it. I'm going to drop it into Google Map really, really quick. Let's do that. So let's quickly do that. I'm bringing up Google Map just to see if that place is, it's just because I thought it was the name of the building, but it might actually be the name of the actual place. It's probably the name of the building, but I do want to check. Right, okay, that's coming in really slowly. Here we go. Right, Nairobi. All right. So is it going to take me there? Let me check. Yes, it is. Interesting. So is this the, yeah, that looks to me like it is the same place. Yeah. I'm just quickly having a look at the pictures. Da, 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 da. Okay. So this looks like the same place, maybe. Right, okay. So it looks like this place has just been completed, maybe, or maybe they're still building part of it. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, look, let's just go through what is actually on the property website, and then maybe we'll have a look at the other thing. So anyway, this is in Kileleshwa, right? It's the properties are going for between 14,600,000 Kenyan shillings up to 17 million Kenyan shillings. So what do you get for that? So you can see basically it's definitely, well, in these pictures it's saying it's off plan, although obviously part of it's been built. I've got a feeling that they've built some of the towers, but they're still building the other towers, if that makes sense, right? Which is, again, is normal. So Embassy Gardens, it might be in, these developments normally, even in the UK, they build them in stages. Stage one, they may sell off while they're marketing the other two stages, and as they get finished, they basically sell them off, if that makes sense, right? And that's fairly normal, right? So this is it. So what I wanted to show you, actually, and bear in mind the price, right? So in fact, how much is 14 million Kenyan shillings? Let's quickly do that. So 14 million, 14 million Kenyan shillings is 14 million Kenyan shillings is 101 and a half thousand USD. Pounds, that is 79,000 pounds. So 79,000. So 14 million Kenyan shillings is 79,000 pounds, and that's 101. Just say 101,000 USD. That's what it is. All right. So what do we get for that? And that's the lowest. That's the lowest amount of money there. So I'm going to make an assumption that is a one bed. What we're looking at here is a 3-bed. That's a 3-bed plot. Let's go through the pics. That is a 2-bed, a plan rather, with 2 bathrooms. Now that is another 2-bed. I'm basically looking for a 1-bed, if there is one. So there isn't one. So that means just make sure what I'm going to say. So what that means, it says it here. That's what I was looking for, right? So, okay. So in this building, which looks like some of it's been, so the 2 of the towers have been built, but one tower looks like it's probably under construction, right? So for that amount of money, 101,000 USD, 89,000 pound, you're getting a 2-bed apartment with 2 bathrooms. Now remember, this is 89,000 quid. I'm not going to bother looking at the 3-bed but obviously you can see the price for the 3-bed, right? So what do you get for that amount of money? You get security cabins at the entrance. Basically, that's like a concierge, so not everyone can just walk in. With CCTV, actually, it's not a concierge. That might just be security guards on the gate. Provisions complete electric fencing, video entry intercom system for each apartment, which is quite nice. Elevators, total of 6 elevators with 3 in each block, having stops on every parking level. Modern cabin with elegant design. Diesel generator provided for all common services. Inverter provision for each apartment, sewage treatment plant producing recycled water for gardening purposes. Okay, so it's kind of eco-friendly, yeah? if that's something you want to consider. Modern, well-equipped gym with steam and sauna, which is brilliant. Recreation, swimming pool swimming pool and a kids pool, kids play area with sand pit and combination swing slides, indoor games area, half basketball court. That is what you get. Now remember, there's a service charge that for some reason on this website they don't actually put, which I always find quite interesting. Also, there's a party hall, which I think is brilliant. So within your service charge, if you run a business or if you want to do parties, whatever you want to do, you've got a place where you can do that, where you can hold events, basically, which I think is brilliant, right? A dedicated green area with a walk-in trail, which is quite nice. Multi-level parking with plenty of parking spaces, cafeteria, convenience store provision. So you get, for that amount of money, you get all of that. That is what you get. God, what's this? What does this say? Okay, so I missed all this, didn't I? Okay, so the Marquis is truly world-class. If you know what, let's look at the pictures first and then we'll come to that, right? So these are the pictures of this particular property. I'm just trying to work out if this is real or an artist impression. I think this is a show apart. No, this looks like an artist impression. So this is what the apartments are meant to look like. I mean, obviously, these you're not going to get the furniture, but they're just trying to give you a vibe, all right? So really, what you're looking at is just what you should be looking at is just a bare building, trying to get an understanding of what it is. So this is a gorgeous apartment service building. That's what this is. Apartment block strokes, serviced apartment block. Right, these are real pictures. So they're broken ground, it looks like, and they're building. I've got a feeling that they're just, okay, so I've got a feeling this is all off plan. The whole lot is off plan. And they were really very good artist impression, computer generated artist impression. I've got to be honest, I thought they were real pictures. Right. So anyway, they're broken ground, right? So they're laying the foundations. Anyone who knows anything about building work, you can see that they're laying the foundations here, right? But guys, for that amount of money, right, you're getting a lot. Again, you're getting a lot for the money. Now, remember, this is a 2-bed, which is why you're paying 100,000, USD for it. It's a 2-bed, right? £89,000 for a 2-bed with all of that spec. Yeah. So let's look at this layout of the 2-bed. So this is the 2-bed, right? Or this is one of the 2 beds. Let's start off with the other one, actually. Okay, so this is one of the two beds. So what do you get, right? So for this, you get 2 bathrooms. Is this a 2-bed or 3-bed? 2-bed, right? So you get 2 bathrooms, and then you get and you get a toilet, L-shaped kitchen, dining area. You can see that there. You get a lounge and you get 2 bedrooms there. All of that for this amount of money, right? Remember, these are Kenyan shillings, right? So you get a hell of a lot for the money. You get a hell of a lot for the money. That is a lot. For 89,000 quid, you're getting this with all of those amenities that I spoke about earlier on. Basically, this is the other 2-bed. It's the same basically, but I think it's just spun around the other way, pretty much. With this one, you get a balcony. Do you get a balcony with the other one? Just check. Oh, okay. So with this one, you don't get a balcony, it looks like. But the other one, it's the same shape, but basically, or it looks like the same shape. You get a balcony. So with this one you get 2 balconies. So you get a balcony off the master bedroom, and you get a balcony off the lounge with this one. So this is basically a bigger flat. This is basically a bigger apartment, right? That's what that is. right? So it's gorgeous for the month. I mean, this is a big place. This is big with a gorgeous view. Yeah. £89,000 for this two bed. I mean, basically, you have to say this is a luxury two bed. I hate that rug. I know. Look, I know it's just an artist impression, but anyway, why put that rug there? That's something that your granny would have, in my opinion. But anyway, that doesn't. That's just trivial. This is what I would call a luxury apartment for £89,000. 100. God, what did we say? 100. Was it 100 or 110,000 USD? I can't remember. But let me have a quick check. What did I say the USD was? 101,000, 101,500 USD. Right? This is a lovely apartment, man. This is a lot for the money. And you've got to keep thinking about how much this is. So, guys, if you're looking to relocate, personally, I think that this would be a decent buy. Basically, this would be this is a top end one. Let's have a quick read of this before we go. So the Marquis is truly world-class inside and out. The promoters of the Higher One Group are responsible for the development of more than 1.5 million square foot of prime real estate in Nairobi and have become synonymous with world-class standards, renowned for premium finishes, intelligent layouts, unbeatable size price quality ratios, flexible payment plans, and superior after sales maintenance. Hire now proudly presents the Marquis, if I'm pronouncing that right. The pinnacle of modern architecture, the Marquis' two towers are configured into residence of 2, 3, and 3.5 and 4-bedroom duplex penthouses. Each has ample domestic quarters. All interior space are efficiently designed. The larger apartments feature generous room sizes and sharp layouts to create family-centric, multifunctional living zones. I wonder if it's Chat GTP that writes this stuff. Bathrooms, kitchens are complete with the finest imported fittings, providing the ultimate in cleanliness and style. In the clubhouse so that you basically that gets paid for out of your service charge. You may decide to luxuriate poolside after a workout in the well-equipped gym, or maybe just a jacuzzi and the steam. Right? So basically, if you stick this on Airbnb, you can charge a premium for that. Yeah, you charge a premium for that. Yeah, the convenience store, cafeteria, kids' play area, party hall, a walking trail, and many more conveniences. This is living life at its best. I totally agree. Structure, I don't understand any of that. So those of you that are builders, that's for you. RCC frame structure, masonry block walls, lobby, elegant main lobby flooring and cladding. Don't know about the cladding bit. That's another conversation. Cladding, upper floors, lobby flooring, vertified tiles. Don't know what that word means. And good quality lift cladding. All lobby walls in emulsion, same quality paint. Staircase with ceramic granito tiles. I'm assuming that's some fancy Italian tile. Elegant metal railing for support. Apartment flooring polished. You can see it anyway. So this is a great one as far as I'm concerned, right? I mean, you can see this. Do go and check out this web page for yourself. Property 24. I'm not going to read through all of this, but I think you get the picture. Yeah, I think you get the picture. All right, so this is a nice one for the money for a two bed, £89,000, 101,000 USD for a two bed in the heart of Nairobi in a good area. Buying it off plan is difficult to beat. That is difficult to beat. That is 100% going to be difficult to beat. So what I'm going to do very quickly and then I will let you go, is this. So I'm going to bring this up. I just want to show you this. Actually, I don't think is that the right? Just check before I even show it. Just want to make sure that I'm looking at the right thing. Just going to check I'm looking at the right thing. Actually, I'm not going to bother showing you this. I don't think I'm going to bother. But guys, I think that's going to be it for today. I think that's going to be it for today. Yeah, just have a little look. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave that like that, I think. Just make sure that I am just want to make sure I'm not missing anything out that you guys need to know, which I'm not, I don't think. Okay, so let me come out of that. Whoops. Let me get back in there. Good. Okay, guys, listen, hopefully you got something out of that. Yeah, we're at the 1 hour 26 mark. Now, just remember that the idea here for this channel, so I'm going to keep repeating it and then I'll shut up and let you go. The idea is basically really helping you guys, men, to actually imagine yourself somewhere else, living a different kind of a life, outside of the hellhole that you currently call home in the West. That's what the channel's all about. You can exist, you can be living somewhere else. You don't have to try to maintain an existence and be vilified in your part of the West. You don't have to do it. You can afford to be somewhere else. You can be building a life for yourself elsewhere outside of the West. You don't have to be looking back. You can look forward, and you can imagine your time and your existence and your life elsewhere, right? And honestly, I encourage you to at least give it some thought. That is what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to encourage you to give it some thought. It doesn't have to be the African continent. It could be anywhere. It could be Asia. It could be Thailand. It could be the Philippines. It could be South America. It could be the Caribbean. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere that places some level of value on you as a Black man. Somewhere where you can find peace of mind, right? And some level of fulfillment, some level of joy, some level of peace, right? Some level of peace. If that's where you are in your little part of the West, fine, right? But if it's not, then the world is a big place, man. The world is yours and the fullness there is, or fullness therein. Or as Nas said, right, the world is yours, right? Or God, Tila Rock, right? It's yours, right? So any way you want to cut it, try it. That is what I say. So guys, listen, catch me on the next one. Hopefully that was of some use. Definitely subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it as well. All three do help the stream. Definitely subscribe to the channel. If you're going to watch this video, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Guys, take it easy, and I will see you on the next one. God bless you.